Hey, how you doing? My name is Murphy Karges, and thanks for cruising on by. I want to talk today about hand position on your bass. We talked about the overall bass, we talked about posture, and now we're going to talk about hand position. Specifically, how you're holding the instrument and how you play it and how you go about doing that. So let's go. Okay, so one thing that I want to talk about right now is if you're starting out on bass, one thing I see a lot of beginners do is they'll attempt to pull up, like they'll physically move their whole arm up to try to play a note. Like, what you want to do, just keep it here and go. My arm's not moving, it's a little bit here, but essentially you just want to pluck your fingers. So what I did was, one student had a hard time stopping the idea of thinking they had to move the whole arm. So what you can do, a trick you can do is you can simply hold your hand and just go like this and don't let it move, so that you're forced to just pick with the fingers. You just want to move your fingers kind of like this, just kind of going like this. I do hear a lot of teachers sometimes saying that you need to rest your thumb here and then play. That doesn't always work though, because the pickups are different, and this one is really high. It works a little bit maybe just to play on the E for me here. But if I look, my thumb is moved. A lot of times I'll actually rest on the top string. But then as you see, you just kind of, obviously it goes away from resting on that string if you're playing here. What I think a good thing to think about is just to somehow anchor your hand, the palm of your hand, a little bit of your arm right here in your wrist area on the body of the guitar. That's what this cutaway is for here. It's so that you can kind of be here. You don't want to chain it to it and think that. You want to think fluidly, but you want to use the body of the guitar right here to be something that you can lean against and be grounded into. So, as you can see, I've got my arm right there. Now let's talk about picks. Oh yeah. So if you're going to be using a pick, I had another student who only held it with just their thumb and their index finger. But I'm like, no. I think I need to hold with two fingers opposing the thumb. Just to... Obviously a pick has a different cool style. It's more aggressive, it's more trebly, it has a little more attack to it. So it's your personal preference and choice of whether you want to play with fingers or a pick. There you go, it's up to you. Okay, so let's talk about the fretting hand. A lot of times you may hear about the number of the finger on the fretboard, and that would go number 1 right here, number 2 right there, number 3 right there, and your pinky is number 4. Where your thumb goes will depend on how you're playing, because a lot of times, my first teacher I mentioned said, you always got to keep that thumb behind it like this. To me, that just wasn't, I wasn't interested in that. That just seemed kind of dorky, and I wasn't always going to be needing to play real intricate scales. I wanted to play. As you see, my thumb can be there, and that can be fine, that can be effective. And if it helps me feel confident on stage and feel better about what I'm doing, then that's great. So that's what I'm going to do. But obviously, sometimes, yes, the thumb will go away. And what the thumb does is the thumb goes down here to really provide support to walk and do some of these things. But you don't have to keep it always like this. No, you don't have to. And when you see behind the neck, sometimes the thumb can be here. And sometimes it needs to go down here and do that thing where it provides more support for you to go walk and play more notes. So the hand positioning, the fret hand positioning, what it really does is it goes where it needs to go. You don't have to hold it in one position every time like this, all gig long or all practice long. That would be silly. And I don't know that you really want to keep your thumb, relaxed and up here either, because that makes some walking between notes more difficult. So I just think, let the thumb go where it needs to go for your fingering fingers to play the notes they need on the fretboard. So generally when you're using your fingers, you're going to use these two fingers the most. They're probably just the most dominant fingers. If for some reason you want to play with your ring finger or your pinky, that's awesome. Go for that. Do that. Steve Harris from Iron Maiden can famously play with these, the first three fingers, including the ring finger, and do like galloping. It's really, really cool. It's pretty advanced. So, but starting out, you can do a ton with these two fingers, just a ton. Most bass players play, if they're fingering, they're doing those two fingers. Now, one thing that I do is sometimes you'll see me kind of popping that one. What is that? What am I doing? Well, what I'm doing is whenever I'm playing anything, I'm usually tapping my foot or something to kind of get a sense of where the beat is. And so that's just like a rest note. That's kind of like if I don't have a drummer or a click or anything. Now, obviously you can introduce some unwanted harmonics or little funky notes, but to me that's okay. Like you should be loose with your playing, you should enjoy it, and if that helps you keep time, you don't want to do it too much obviously, but just if there's a little bit of tapping in between, then that's what that is and that's okay to me. Now when it comes to playing where you want to play, I mean, go ahead and play down here. You'll feel that's really tight. Listen to the different sound we've got going on there. Play it all over. To me, my favorite spot is just somewhere in between the pickups and the last fret on the fretboard. You just get the most thump for right there. So figure out on your own where you like to play with your fingering, playing the strings on that hand, and see where you like the best. So we're back. So whether you play with your fingers or a pick is more comfortable, or whatever style you want to do, or however you hover your hand here, or if you kind of put it to the body, and if your thumb is always up or always down, it's really just up to you. These are just pointers for you to kind of take in to yourself and sit with your guitar and play and have fun and really just kind of invent and be creative, because I think that's really what it's about. There's no rules that are hard and fast. They're just really tips that you can take to put into your own special blend of playing and be creative with it and just have a great time. So, hope it's been helpful. Like this video. If you like it, leave a comment. I love reading your comments, I really do. And subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. We're going to make more. So, appreciate you stopping by. Thank you. Bye. See ya.